Hi everyone. So, in the last session, we are discussing what is the SQL injection attack. Right. So, let me explain SQL injection attack. So, let me explain this. Suppose a query return like this. There is a query string. There is a query like a string query. Select star from the users where username equal to plus username. Our requirement is what? Based on the username, I have a table called users. Okay, so based on the given username, it should select the data from the users table. So we have example query like this. What happened? User entered the name like this. Okay, the user has entered the name like this. Arvin or 1 equal to 1. So he has entered the name like this. Okay, so it is not the user. We can say malicious user, or we can he is not a correct user, we can say. Okay, we can call it as a hacker, or I can use the word like a malicious user. Now this malicious user entered as Arvind or 1 equal to 1. So he has entered like this, right? So what happened now? Let's see the query. If I substitute this in my query, we'll see what happened. Okay, so if the username is substituted in the query, then it becomes like this: select star from users where username is equal to Arvind or 1 equal to 1. So this is a malicious user has given some username along with he also given as 1 equal to 1. Okay, he has also given us 1 equal to 1. So the problem is, even though the malicious user or hacker don't know the username, even though the username is invalid, but there is a condition like or operator 1 equal to 1. It is always true. Or operator 1 equal to 1 is always true. So what will happen then? Even though the malicious user don't know the name, he can retrieve all the data from the users table. He is stealing the data from the is stealing the data of the users, right? So question is like, how can he steal all the data of the users? He don't know the exact username, so this condition may fail. So it may be false, but or operator 1 equal to 1 is always true. So what will happen in this case? Now this query will select all the users data from the table. So this malicious user able to retrieve all the users data even though he don't know any information. So this is nothing but this is called SQL injection attacks. Okay, so this is nothing but the SQL injection attack, right? So the point I'll write here in the above query: the malicious user or hacker don't know the username, but 1 equal to 1 is always true. Okay, in logical operator. Okay, in logical operator or in if any one condition is true, then it is always true, or 1 equal to 1 is always true. Then what will happen in this condition? So the hacker is able to get he always able to get the steal is steal. He can able to get the data, or steal is a better word. So he steals all the users data. So SQL injection, which means when you are working with the statement object. Okay, so in the statement object this type of attacks is possible. Okay, to prevent the SQL injection attacks. Okay, to prevent the SQL injection attacks, we have to use which statement? Obviously, our prepared statement. In the statement it is not possible. In the prepared statement it is possible. So now we are discussing the prepared statement. So you have to understand. So prepared statements prevent these type of SQL injection attacks, because to whatever the username he has given, this is substituted as a part of query. But when it is working with the prepare statement, that will be substituted the value as a parameter, right? So we will discuss this now. Now we know already. So what kind of parameter is that? Okay, so it is called the positional parameters. is called the positional parameters. So question mark parameter is a positional parameter or indexed parameter. So whatever the type of, whatever the type here, whatever the type that I had written to use the question mark symbol, here I told they are placeholders. Okay, so these are nothing but the placeholders. So let me write it here. Okay, so placeholders. The size is decreased. Okay, so placeholders are called, or also, space is not working. Okay, or also called as a positional parameters or positional parameters or index parameters. Right. So index parameters. So different names are there. Let's just remember one name like a placeholder. So the point is what here they type these type of injection. Okay, so these type of SQL injection attacks are possible. Which object with the statement object? So let me just write it here. This point is unwell. Okay. So let me write this point. So these type of SQL injection attacks. SQL injection attacks are possible. Which object are with the statement objects? Statement objects. Right. This is only possible with the, so we have already discussed our statement object. So it is possible. So to prevent these SQL injection attacks, we have to use whatsoever this problem. Okay. So let's take some query, for example, statement or prepared statement. For example, here I'll take, so here SOP statement. I have to mention the SOP. Enter username. Enter username colon. And okay, so string username is equal to sc dot next line method. Okay, so string username equal to sc dot next line method. Okay, so now I have to write the query, string query. String, what is my query? Query is equal to, so remember it starts with double quotes. Select star from users where username equal to select or from users table, right? Users table, or I'll mention it in the query. If we mention in the double caps, it would be nice. Okay, so select star from which table? Users table. Users where username equal to, where username equal to, in the double quotes and plus a question mark placeholder, and ends with colon. Okay, so we want to work with now prepared statement. For example, I have a query like where user name equal to question mark, it is a placeholder. Okay, so the way of writing this query, now I want to create the prepare statement object. So how do I create the prepare statement object? I'll create like this, creating prepared statement object. How I will do that, I have to be mentioned prepared statement, prepared statement, sta- prepared statement pstmt object is equal to, what is this, con dot connection. Okay, connection prepared statement, prepare statement query. I have to pass the query, right? Yeah, query. So I have passed the query. Now what is this? We created the prepare statement object. So the next step is we need to set the parameters. I told already like how many steps are involved in creating the prepare statements. Three. So which is nothing but one is preparing and the parameters setting and executing the query. Yes, so these are the three things that we have to be follow. Right. So these are the three steps involved. So we need to follow these three steps. Assume that a user has a username. Okay, user has a username called Arvind or one equal to one, like this. Okay. So how he has given the name like that. So how my query, so he has given the name like this. Now how my query become, this is going to be set for this parameter. So we are setting, first we are setting this username to the parameter. How do we do that? So let me just write it here, you will understand. Okay, so how he will do that, he will write like this, pstmt dot, pstmt dot, okay, this is the object, set string method, set. So this is one. What is the first parameter, right? Username. So he has given like this, ends with colon. He has given as Arvind or one equal to one, like this now. Query bigger. Okay. So how select? So this is the query. Select in the double quotes. In the double quotes, select. Okay. Start from users, users table, where where user name equal to Arvind or operator one equal to one. Okay, so this is the query. If you write or operator within the double quotes, then what happen? If you write the or operator in the double quotes, then it is treated as a value or it treated as a logical operator. Okay, so this is the value or operator, so it is not in the double quotes, right? So it is a value. When it is treated as a logical operator, when it is outside the double quotes. Okay, when it is outside the double quotes. Now this is going to be a part of the value now. Yes, so double quotes are the value, right? So tell me, is there any user Arvind or one equal to one? No. What will happen in this case? Now the hacker, the hacker cannot use this query. So in this case, okay, so what happened in this case? Okay, In this case, there is no username. So you have to be understand one thing, like I hope you got this point. If I write within the double quotes, okay, that or operated is treated as a value, or it treated as a logical operative, it is treated as a value. Okay, so you have to be understand this one clearly, when it is treated as a value and when it is treated as a logical operator. I hope this one is clear. Okay, so here in this case there is no user within user, there is no user with the given username, with given username equal to username, or so hacker cannot steal the data from the which table users, right? So hacker cannot steal the data of the users, data of the users, right? So who is preventing? Prepared statement. Who is preventing? Prepared statement is a better word. So it is for two reasons. Prepared statement, we will how we will use for prepared statement. So let me write this. Prepared statement, we have already discussed this so many times. It is first one is nothing but to improve the performance, right? So the first one is nothing but to improve the performance, and second one is to prevent in SQL injection attacks, to improve the performance and injection attacks. And third one is also there, right? So the third reason is also I can write here, to store or retrieve the images, okay, which is nothing but to store or to store or retrieve the images. We will do this. This is very interesting, to store or retrieve the images. Okay, so you can scroll up once. Prepared statement will allow to compile the query in the SQL, and now you can execute the number of times you want. It will improve the performance. Okay, so the solution for the above problem is prepared statement interface. Okay, prepared statement is given for two reasons. So first one is to improve the performance, and second one is to prevent the SQL injection attacks, right? To prevent the SQL injection attacks. Now, how to create the prepared statement? So I have already write it, how to create the prepared statement. Prepared statement pstmt is equal to connection dot prepared statement. We have passed the query. So placeholder symbol is nothing but placeholder is question mark. Where it is question mark? Here it is. Okay, so placeholder symbol is question mark. Query is passed to compilation and to execute. So we put the placeholder for parameters, right? So far in our example, like we are writing here, what we are doing, we are writing what happens when we are inserting the employee id, employee name, or salary. So these kind of things we are inserting. Okay, so this is nothing but the data, not the images. So far so so far it is just a data. Like in our last programs also, how we have created the five names and marks, and so this is nothing but the data. And images, we will do that now. Okay, so here is the thing. Okay, so this is nothing but the data, so not the images. In our code, we have nowhere inserted the images, no. So the point I'm saying here, if you want to store the images or retrieve the images, okay, then we have to use the prepare statement. We cannot use the statement. Okay, with the statement object, it is not possible. So I repeat the statement object. With the statement object, we cannot do the inserting an image or database or retrieving the images. This is not possible with the statement object. It is not possible, these three features. Only it is possible with prepare statement. Okay, so the prepared statement, like these are the three reasons. Which one? To improve the performance, to prevent the SQL injections, to store or retrieve the images. So in our last example, we have discussed like how these multiple records in our tables, like the performance. Today I will tell you about how to insert the image in our database table. Later we will write the code. Okay, so what is all about? I'll write the program for storing an image. To print the image, we'll start now. Okay, so storing the image in the database, where what I can tell, if at all you want to storing the image in the database. In the database. Okay, so let me just write it. How to. Okay, storing the image in database. Only storing the image in database, we have to be follow certain things, right? So in the database, if you want to store table, you must have the column. So which type of column? It is a blob, blob. So which is nothing but binary large object. It is one of the data type. So some data types like number, work at two, double, date, so these kind of data types are similar. Okay, so similar, there is a data type which is called the blob. So we should pronounce it as a blob. Okay, so there is a clob also there. So we can call it as a character data. So what is the point I'm saying here? If at all you want to store the image in database, that table must contain the column like blob. And second thing, it can store an image. That image size may be 4 bytes. I think it is a 4 MB or 4 GB, not sure, but clob is a 2 GB. Okay, blob is a 4 GB. Okay, so the image type must be either GIF, GIF format or JPEG format. Okay, so it has to be GIF or JPEG file or PNG file. So these three types. Okay, so these are the three types. It is not like video, MP3 or MP4. That video also image. Okay, so the image, but we can store like the song, movies, MP4 type, or remaining all supported except the BMP, which is nothing but the bitmap image. Okay, so which is nothing but when you draw something in the image like a Microsoft Paint, this is called the bitmap image. So BMP image are not allowed. Remaining almost all amount, remaining almost all allowed. Okay, so GIF, JPG, MP3 or MP4, PNG, so all these are allowed. Only the bitmap is not allowed. Okay, so what is the full form of GIF? GIF, GIF stands for graphic interface format, and JPEG, which is nothing but the joint photo photographic expert group. Okay, PNG, which is nothing but portable network graphic. Okay, so to store an image in a database. Okay, so what we have to do, storing the image in a database, how like let me write here. To store the image in database, the table must contain a column of data type. The table must contain the data type of which one? BLOB, which is nothing but binary large object. Okay, so this is the important thing that we have to be remember. Okay, when you are practicing, don't use the large image. Actually, it can store up to 4 GB. Okay, don't take it as a big images. Okay, but you should use the very small images where we are not using any commercial product, right? So we are using the free software. Okay, so it won't allow us to store the very big images like 4 GB or 2 GB or 2 GB is nothing but one movie, right? More than a movie. In a 2 GB pen drive, I can store at least more than a movie, right? So the point is we are using a free software which is nothing but the open source. So that's the reason it won't allow us to store the big images. If it is a commercial product, it will allow to store up to 4 GB. The point is the image type that can be stored in the data type in the database, which is nothing but which does not accept the BMP files. So let me just write it here. You can get the clear understanding. The image type is can be stored in the database except which one? BMP. Stored in database except which file? BMP file, which is nothing but the bitmap file, right? So these are the things. So look at this code in this. Yesterday, we have installed one software which is nothing but the SQL Oracle developer, right? So I extracted. So what is the SQL developer? It is also an application to execute our queries. So I have installed this SQL developer. Okay, and I have extracted. Right. So what we have to do once we install this, it is just very simple that you have to be open the Google Chrome in the new tab. Just e- use this Oracle SQL Developer. Okay. If you don't install, no, so just install this Oracle SQL Developer. Okay, so these are the things that you have to be download it. Once you download, okay, so our Windows, right? Windows. So download this one, 557 MB. So this is 32-bit or 64-bit. Okay, so once you download this, it will get stored in your downloads. Just extract it. Once you do this, okay, so it would be like, what is the SQL developer? It is also an application to execute our queries on the database, which is nothing but same as a SQL plus. Okay, as we have already aware of, and we got habituated by using the SQL plus, right? SQL plus is a character user interface, so nothing but CUI application. So SQL developer. Okay, so let me just write here so you can understand. So SQL developer, right? SQL developer is nothing but the CUI. SQL plus is character user interface. CUI. I'll just write CUI so you can understand. And which one? SQL plus is a CUI. And SQL developer. SQL developer which is nothing but GUI, graphical user interface. Okay, but with SQL developer or SQL plus, we cannot uh, like we can connect our Oracle database. So with these two, how to do this? Okay, so with this, I guess it is okay. So these two, what it is not working out. Let it be. So what happened with the SQL developer or SQL plus, we can connect with our Oracle database. So these two things we can connect our Oracle database, right? By using these two things, we can connect with our database. So we can connect our queries. We can fetch the data and we can perform the operations like DML, DDL. So all these operations we can perform in our database. Okay, from these client software. Okay, so these are the two client softwares. We can use the SQL developer is a client software, and SQL plus is also a client software. Okay, so SQL plus is a CUI and SQL developer is a GUI. So let me go to my downloads where I extracted SQL developer application, and you have to be double click, it will get open. So this is from the Oracle. Okay, so I have yesterday or extracted this one. Okay, so it is opening with the SQL developer, otherwise SQL plus. I'll show the difference, but currently I'm using the SQL developer. So this software I'm using from Google. So once the SQL developer option is here, SQL developer options. Okay, once it get open in the doc file. So where it is SQL. Okay, so let it be open first. So now you understood, right? Once you extracted, you have to be open like this. These are the things you have to be follow. So once it opens, go to the Oracle connections. So this is the, so it's taking time. Let it be. So it is opened now. This is the welcome page, and this is the Oracle connections. Right. So right click and create the which one, new connection. In that you have to be enter all the data. So what is the data entered, the name here, the name whatever you want you can give. So for this purpose I'll give just demo. Okay, and what is the username by default? When it you have given the system in MySQL plus, also I have given the username system and password is admin. Okay, so password I have given admin. Remaining all as it is same. So after entering the username and password, just provide some name. Okay, like demo. Here before you can select the save or, okay, save or clear, connect. Just click on connect and test it. Check all these fields are working. Okay, test it. Once the test is okay, now then you can go to the save or what it is saying. Yes, so it is, once it is created, so by default it has taken. So it will, once you click on save, it will correct, and after that your connection is opened demo. Okay, So if I expand it, it will show the different folders. Here it is loading the tables, views, indexes, packages, etc. Right? So all are database. These are all called the database objects. So all these database objects are given as a folder, right? In that we need to only open our tables, tables, right? So table comes along with this software. There is some table. Okay, so here department, employees, images. Okay, so these are already default one. Okay, when I select this emp table, okay, if I select emp table, see here you can see all the records. When I click on the DEPT table, you can see all the DEPT department related records, right? You can able to see it, right? So today we want to create a new table. Now, okay, so in demo, this is the worksheet, right? Query builder. So I can type and write whatever the tables I want. So here, this is the query builder. We can call it query builder here. Query builder and worksheet. You got it, right? So now I can type to write whatever I want to create a table. Where in the worksheet. So how to create the images, like let me just for example purpose I will just write here, create table, create table images. Okay, so I'll give the table name as images, and the I need only two columns. So first column is images name. I will give image name, image name, so which is nothing but worker 2, worker. Okay, and the size I'll give as something 20. I given 20. And my another column is nothing but a picture, which is nothing but which data type? BLOB data type, blob. So here it is BLOB. Now close it, ends with semicolon. Right. So here it is a table name images. Okay, and columns are image name, and the picture is only the column. I don't want the multiple columns. Okay, so I will run this and click the this here. What it is saying, it is already existing object, no problem. So it might be I have created and deleted, right? So that's why the table image is already created, it is showing. So let's write the code in our Eclipse. Okay, and I have already downloaded the image. Okay, so whatever the image you have downloaded, you can just download the same small image and try to write this code in our Eclipse. So I'm creating a new project. Okay, go here and new project. Okay, so what is my project name? As we have already created the JDBC 6, now I will go as a JDBC 7, JDBC 07. Okay, so here you can click it finish. Okay, so now it is expanded source. Just delete this one, we don't require. Done. Right, so now what you have to do, you have to take the new class and package name. So package name whatever you want to give, like I'll give as com dot Vanitha id dot JDBC. Okay, and class name, like we are working with the image, right? So I'll give as the insert image, insert underscore image. Okay, so I have given the insert image, and if you want the main method, you can click it, or otherwise just click on the finish. Now it is done. Okay, so what I have to do is I have successfully created. I will here main method. Okay, now what I will do in the previous code here, in this previous code, I'll just copy this one, our PSTMT. Okay, so just copy this database till where, till here I will copy this, like we're going to be use the same things. Okay, so here I have pasted. Now just check what is our database URL, JDBC Oracle thin colon at the rate localhost colon 1521 colon exe, and my username is system and password is admin. So connection in the initially it is null, and prepare statement also null. So connection driver manager dot get connection, we have a three placeholders. Okay, so and PST empty. So in this query, the table name is image and only two placeholders. So how many values I need to store to this? Only two. So in placeholder image name and second one is blob. So what I need to do? I have to be set the binary data of the image. So let me just see this. Okay, so I have to be use only one, two placeholders, right? I'm getting the calls. Okay, so here it is. I'll just maximize this, and I have to be use only two placeholders for username and picture block. Right. So what I will do, uh, I have to be now creating PSTMT set string method, right? So here I will use this one. So what it is used for? First image is nothing but for the image, which is nothing but the string, and second one is blob. Okay, what I need to set? Binary data of the image. So let me set this. So pstmt dot set string method, set string. Okay, so here the first column is which one? For p file input streams, right? So first thing I have to be mention one, which is nothing but the string method, right? So one, and the picture name, whatever the picture name you have to be enter here, so you have to be mentioned. So I'll just give the Radha Krishna, and here. Okay, so this is the thing that I have set the string, and once it is done, like a second column is for the image, right? Binary, the image data, which is nothing but the binary. So the image is in C drive. Okay, in the document folder, you can set anywhere. If you want to put it in the pictures or download the path, you have to understand the concept. You have to use the file input stream object for whatever you want to read the data from the file, whether it is a text file or the image file or the binary file. So which stream object you need to create? File input stream. So that file input stream object we need to create. Okay, for that, how you have to be right? File input stream, file input stream, file input stream, and object, I'll just take it as a shortcut, FIS. and here new file input stream of, okay, new file input stream of. So this is like where you have to be give the your path location, okay, or you can use the control shift o. Now we need to call, right? So pstmt. So first here let me give this, I whatever the picture you want to be set here, so you can give it here. Go to the properties, and this is the thing that control c, and here you have to give control v in double slash. The name is all small letters, all small letters, okay. Now end with colon. So this is the thing you have already set here. Now pstmt set binary string, okay, which is which column? Second column. So object it will take care of the remaining things, right? So now you have to be use pstmt execute update method. Empty dot execute update method ends with colon. So why I'm calling the execute update method? Because my query, okay, because my query is insert query. For that I need to use execute update. For selecting the operations I have to call the execute operation, execute query method. So it is for inserting, all right. So after that I told already, like execute update method returns the integer, right? So which is 2. Is it mandatory to store the value in an integer variable? No. Simply I can like I'll do this SOP statement, right? Like here I will do SOP. Here I can write is row inserted. For our understanding purpose, we have to know, right? Row inserted. What this is like this. I will write in the double quotes inside this. Oh, it is fine now. So the message I wrote in the try block, obviously I need to define the catch block. So what exception we can expect? SQL exception or IO exception also occurs because it is a checked exception. While working with the input streams or the output streams, it may occur, right? It may occur the IO exception, or it IO exceptions are raised. I have to handle those exceptions by using the try and catch block. Okay, so I can use the multiple try catch blocks also. From Java 7 onwards there is a concept given called multi exception catch blocks. Means one catch block handles one catch block only handles the multiple exceptions. Like how can i how can I separate them? By using the pipe symbol, or like a or operator. Or operator means two pipe symbols, right? So it is only one single pipe symbol. So let me just write it here. Catch block, see, catch here, SQL exception. SQL here, this is the only one pipe symbol. And IO exception, EX, right? So here the thing. So in the cache block, like we have to be ex dot print ex dot. print stack trace. Okay, now we have to use the finally block. In the final, here I will use the, in this finally block what we have to be use, I have to use the try block. Okay, so for that, in this try block, again I have to be using my if statement, which is nothing but if pstmt pstmt not equal to none. So close this and close the pstmt pstmt dot, here it is close. Okay, so pstmt dot close if connection not equal to null, if connection not equal to null, I have to be close the connection dot close. Right, now again after this I have to be you catch block exception e is equal to, here only I'll write catch exception e, here e dot print stack trace, print, what is the spelling, erin, yes, here it is. Okay, so I want to insert the picture in a PNG format or which format, JPG format, we have to be decided. So into my, I have to be insert my PNG file into my table. So who is my table? My table name is images. I have to be set the build path. Now configure. Here I have to be set this. So how I will do? I have to be configure the build path. So let me just minimize it and try to do this. Okay, so let me finally, and I have used the try statement. If pstmt not equal to none, then we have closed the connection. If connection not equal to none, then we have closed the connection. Catch. Okay, so okay, catch exception ex catch exception, catch exception e dot. So why this came here like this? Catch e dot print stack trace. So where the mistake is, if statement, if pstmt not equal to null and pstmt not equal to null, pstmt dot close, if connection and connection dot close, catch. Okay, I wrote two times. Why I wrote two times here? So this is the thing that we have to be do it. Again, it is showing the error. connection dot close, and finally and try. Okay, so what is that? If pstmt not equal to null and we have close the statement, connection not equal to none, then we have to close the connection. And so we have missed this close bracket, right? So we have just entered it. Now what I will do, I'll just go and okay, I'll just run this. Before running, we have to be set our build path, right? So what we have to done, if we didn't add build path, so I want to insert my picture format png file into my database. Who is my database? Which is nothing but the images, right? So go to the build path, just go to the build path and configure build path libraries. So I don't want this now, I'll just remove it. A class path. Now add external jars, right? Add external jars. And where did I save this? Programs, Java programs or programs? In, not in programs, I guess in Java programs. Okay,